Hey guys, today I have a video response to Grubgun, biggest gaming letdown. Well, when you buy used systems from different sources, you're going to get some that you're not, you aren't always going to be 100%, you're going to get some you're disappointed with. But then when I got to thinking about it, my biggest disappointment was my earliest disappointment. And that's back in April of 1982 when I bought this, my Radio Shack color computer. Now I can hear you saying, hey, wait a minute, I thought you put up all these videos about how great the Coco was and all these great games that you showed for it. What's with it being your biggest disappointment? Well, fortunately, it was also a short-lived disappointment. When I got the computer and got it home, when I went back into Radio Shack to get games for it, there was just nothing available. The only games I originally had to play for it was my brother had gotten a book in town from David All. That's 101 more computer games, so obviously it was a sequel to it, and it had some decent games in it. But the better the game was, the longer it took to type in, the more chance you were going to make a mistake typing it in. And I did have a couple games, and here is a couple examples of the games that I played, typed in and played. And as you can see, they're no replacement for Space Invaders or Pac-Man or any other game of the like. So, while I had a little bit of fun with it, I was very much disappointed. I looked everywhere for games from Radio Shack. Even when I was up in Baltimore on business, I looked there, and they didn't have any around the Beltway. I didn't go and wasn't in downtown Baltimore, but they didn't have any around the Beltway. And it wasn't until later that summer that I finally found a copy of Space Assault, a Space Invaders clone, and Polaris Missile Command clone over at Charlottesville, which was several hours away. So I finally got a couple games, and then later on that fall, any of the games that Radio Shack had, they were pretty much all of them available locally. But there were still quite a few games that Radio Shack didn't put out, and I really wasn't aware of any alternatives until late in 1982. I found out about Rainbow Magazine, and I subscribed to it. And then the first issue I received was the December of 1982 issue of Rainbow Magazine. And as I have mentioned before, I literally spent an hour looking through the ads before I ever read any articles or anything else. Just the ads kept me captivated for an hour to see what was available. And I ended up getting Color Pete, an excellent Centipede clone. I ended up getting Gobbler, which was getting up Ghost Gobbler, which was a Pac-Man clone. And after that, I pretty much got the full range of games available to it, and I was extremely happy with the machine going forward. But that first spring and into that first summer, I was very much disappointed and very much wondering if I'd made a mistake. I was very glad to find out that I didn't make a mistake in the end, and from then on, I've been happy with the color computer. The color computer and color computer 3 were the only computers I used up and through 1989 when I got my first PC, and I still use the color computer 3 on a regular basis up into the early 90s. So I was certainly glad that my biggest gaming disappointment, biggest gaming letdown. Was also one of my briefest letdowns. Very much glad that in the end I ended up making the right decision getting the color computer. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, more later.